I can do like the intro and introduce you. Do you want us to do any shout outs, Flannel, to anything?
Oh Christ. No. I can't think of one.
Well, I can flash your book again and be like,
yeah, you can flash the book. That's fine.
He's the guy who did this.
Daddy doesn't mind selling a book or two.
Yeah, I know. I seriously do love this thing. It's so fun. Like, I'm never gonna use like just a +1 longsword ever again.
Quit sucking up.
Hey, look, well, hell, it's a good product. It's a really good.
He's just trying to get preferential treatment during the campaign.
Well, he's doing a great. He's gonna get it. He's doing a great job with that.
I get preferential treatment, thanks, guys.
Listen, I'm living in Trump's America. You can do anything now.
Oh man,
no rules anymore.
I want to be clear. I still have not received an invite to the Roll20 campaign.
I sent it to you. I thought,
it's in the.
There's a link here in the Skype chat.
Yeah,
2 links.
Stuff in Skype.
All right,
no, actually, yeah. This is our. Well, I mean, what's in the drive is the most recent draft. It's the draft before that of our second book. So it's the campaign materials.
Ooh.
Yep. So I'll be making a circuit whenever we get that project off the ground with art and everything to actually list y'all as playtesters, because officially that's kind of what you're doing.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, you're not getting paid for it, for fuck's sake.
This is payment.
Only Cat's getting preferential treatment. He already claimed that. So.
Yeah. I already got the inspiration on lock.
Oh, shit. I gotta do all my settings in Roll20.
Oh, yeah. So
I forgot about that.
We're little babbies down below. This will be good. Oh, who's in here? Spate? Oh.
Wait, are we?
Hello. Hello. We're
Hello.
here. Can you hear
Hey,
us?
everybody.
Did I actually get the sound right for once?
Hopefully not.
I think I did. What's up, guys? How's everything going?
Missed you guys.
I didn't miss you at all. Any of you.
None of you
Spade?
mattered.
Yeah, sorry, Spade.
Wait, stop, you're a million? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so our pal, we conned ManySidedDice into running an adventure for us somehow. If you don't know who he is the creator of Lost Artifacts of Greygast. Wait, you can't see that. Let me make myself a little bigger real quick so you can see this butte. One sec.
Boy, what a beaut.
I also
There it
famously
is.
understood the plot to Dark City by watching it only once.
Oh, thanks. But it is a huge, look at the size of this thing. Magic item compendium filled with amazing artwork and backstories
Oh my
to
God.
everything.
You're so big.
I know. Well, I want people to see it. So there's all sorts of new mechanics, like new. Oh gosh, what am I thinking? New.
I have
Help me out
something
here,
that's pretty
Flannel.
big that
You
I
know
want
what it
people to
is.
see
Yeah,
too.
thick and juicy.
We have some.
Attunement. There we go.
Yeah, huge fan of the attunements we have in there. That's probably one of the things we got praised for the most.
Yeah,
kind of
that's-
give you something to do to actually have a relationship with the item, and not just let's wait it out and play with it.
Yeah. So so if you guys want to pick that up, I'll slam the link down in there, in chat. But yeah, so this session we do not have any characters created. We're just going to be creating them on the fly. I think Flannel, you've got some fun
correct.
little things planned for us. So
Oh, yeah.
I'll let you take it from here.
Okay, so yeah, when we decided to start this up, we figured we could start with characters like any other stream we'll get into, but most of the games that sort of we play locally, sort of my group, who I think many of them are actually here in the chat, from the couple of groups I've worked with and played with, we sort of decided a long time ago that being a veteran and playing D&D a lot, you can kind of skip that part, maybe one of the most interesting parts, and we like to try to make a party that has a relationship together. Has a reason to know each other.
Yeah, but I don't like any of these guys.
That can be part of it too. We can go and have we can have animosity right there in the middle of characters. It could be like traveling. Your character could die while making it.
Oh, there'll be animosity.
There always is.
So we laid out character creation in 6 steps. This is kind of a shorter version of what we do. This whole process, maybe 30 minutes. So this is going to take us all the way through, and at the end, we should have a party that knows each other and has backgrounds that relate not just to each other, but to the setting itself, which is a fantasy city, Greygast, that could exist in any world at all. It's not important. The entire game is going to be bottled in one city, moving about the city, and the party are going to be guards, constables in it. So, if everyone's ready, we can kick this off and start slamming together characters.
I'm ready.
I'm
ready.
ready.
I've been ready.
All right, so step one is the exceptional recruits setup. So it's going ahead and rolling off, which we have a nice token and macro that you can click. Now, if you click it, this is going to go ahead and straight up throw down 46, drop the lowest. It'll have a little token action. You could then go from there. And that is your stats. As long as it doesn't end up with an overall negative modifier, the only thing that happens at the end is whatever your lowest stat is becomes 11, because you're exceptional recruits to being guards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, step 1. I'm gonna transition over so we can show your beautiful thing you have. All right. I will go first since I'm leftmost.
Oh, isn't that convenient?
Yeah.
One shout out I do want to give, because he's taking his time busy away. There's Jim Sterling, Jimquisitions in the chat.
Oh, hey, Jim.
Peeking in.
Hey, Jim.
Howdy, Jimsy Notes. Jimsy's character's on the cover of the book.
Why on my TV are you allowed again? You don't want to see the silver fox on your TV, Jim? Come on.
Jim also famously chews scenery in role-playing games, and he doesn't do math, which is its own challenge.
So
Thanks for the follow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
so let's get some stats rolled.
Okay. I'm gonna click it.
Go ahead
Go.
and click it. You should see when you click the logo there should be in the upper left, there should be the token macro to throw it down. There we go.
Yeah.
You have a pretty strong array. Keep in mind, your lowest score goes to 18. If
Wait,
it's a
the
tie,
Okay.
if it's a tie, they both go to 18. So you're 12.
Whoa.
Excuse me,
You
sorry,
mean to
I'm sorry,
11?
not- to 11. Excuse me.
Yeah.
They
I
should-
mean, I'll
Aw.
take the 18.
So you're dragged a little bit more to the baseline that way.
Yeah.
All right, that's
Cool.
one array. Somebody else.
I'll go. Wait, what am I clicking on again?
It's in that little collection next to your settings icon.
I'm looking for it now.
So if
Oh,
anyone's
yeah.
wondering, since I'm not showing my rolls, I have a
Somebody else
16
go, because I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck I'm doing.
So I don't have
Found
the
it.
rolls visible on stream. I have a 16, a 14, a 13, a 12, a 12, and a 14. And based on the rolls, those 12s will go to 11s.
click-
Collections.
So what you'll
Really?
do, the
A
easiest
really
way,
good
is click your little 3 icons next to your settings, and you'll see the macros, and you'll see stats there. And then what I did is just checked in bar, and so it shows up, and then I get a little button down there.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Ah.
Oh. All right, Riley, you
shit.
going because you're next in line? Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
I just went.
Ooh.
Oh,
All right, so let's read them out here. So 16, 15, 14, right?
Uh-huh.
10, 9, and 4. So your 4 goes to 11.
Okay. That's good.
All right. Sean, Jake, you want to give it a go?
Jake.
I guess. Let's try it.
Uh,
Look at the fucking
really,
rolls, boys.
really great stats. 17, 16, 16,
Oh,
Can't stop me.
jeez.
15, 14, and your 12 becomes an 11.
All right.
Holy cow.
It seems rigged that I don't get to keep the 12, but whatever. You know, it's fine.
I don't get to keep both my 12s, so
Please.
you shut your whore mouth.
All right, Sean, you ready? And we had to.
There's the
hold on,
garbage
hold
you
on. I was about to say we had to have at least one taco in the
one garbage roll.
15, 12, 11. 8, 7, and in 6. 6 will go to 11. And you still manage to escape having a negative. So that is your array.
Yay.
Awesome.
I guess we know who the rookie is.
Yeah.
It's a good thing the dude who knows the least starts out the fucking worst.
That's fine.
That's
Thank
funny.
you.
Oh.
Thank you, Jimsy. One
I
day
agree,
we'll,
Jim.
we'll retire and we'll
Yeah,
open
no,
that
Jim,
sweet little B&B in Maine together.
the most handsome DM I have ever had.
Hey.
For sure.
Why do you have such a hard on?
We made out at a party
Oh my
once.
God.
There you go.
We made out at a party once. It was that's not hold on. That's not even a joke. We actually did. It was
Oh,
amazing.
wait, you and Jake or you and
Oh
Jim?
yeah, no, me and Jim.
Oh,
Oh,
there you go.
I was like, if we did, I don't remember it, but I bet it was awesome.
It was absolutely did. Absolutely did. It was great.
All right, cool.
All right, so we've got stats down.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Are
we
you-
need to- then we
Do I need to remember these? Do I need to write them down somewhere?
You should see in
They're right there in chat.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
In your Roll20 journal, you see there are 4 blank character sheets. Just grab one, put your name on it, and you can punch stats in as you go, or you can just kind
I'll
of
be
keep track
player
as we-
1.
as we build.
I'll be player 3.
I'll be player 2.
I'll be the fourth one.
Baby. Okay. Let me get this off of there.
I
All
gotta-
right.
All right, cool.
Sometimes you really need a third monitor.
You need a 4th, 5th monitor. All
Yeah,
right, so
I
step
definitely
2.
need a third. All right.
Step 2 is picking what race you want to play. For the conceit of the game, the setting that we have, this sort of cosmopolitan fantasy city, any common race is perfectly fine. But D&D 5th Ed is starting to get that, race sprawl. You pick up Volos, you get Xanthar's Guide, you start getting into some deep, weird stuff, right? And everyone wants to start talking about it. There's not going to be a ban on any particular race. But it's going to cost you a stat point if you want to play something weirder. And something truly rare, even more so.
Sean, you should nerf the fuck out of your character. Just go as weird as possible with the no stats.
Sounds good.
Because the city itself is not necessarily hospitable to the most exotic races that would have come here for any reason.
Is this Trump's America?
Easy.
These
Back
shithole
off.
racists.
Okay, back it up a little bit.
Banned.
Back it up.
All right, sorry.
And it begins. All right, cool.
Oh
So
fuck.
you were saying that. So common races, there's no change. So the -1 stat point, is that to all or just one stat point?
That's just it. You just have to give up a stat point in somewhere.
Okay. Cool.
So
That
for a
sounds good.
baseline of what's common, uncommon, and rare, common things will be things like in the SRD, right? So humans and dwarves, elves, most of those. But even then, drows a little bit more special, tieflings a little bit more special. Those are uncommon, right? Dragonborn are a little uncommon. Truly rare or exotic, we're starting to get into the stuff I saw in that other book. If it has to start with, wait a second, did you ever read this book? Then we're probably in the rare territory.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for me, I've never read a book, so
Awesome.
All right. Cool.
Ever in his life.
we're gonna slap my guy down as a human.
Human.
Yep. Same here. I want to be a human variant.
Now, there are two kinds of human, right? Two
Okay.
kinds of human. So there's regular human, right? You'll get the +1 to every stat. And then there's variant human. You get to +2. You get basically 2 points to place and a feat. For setting purposes, right? That determines something about how you were raised. If you are straight common stock, nobody every day, common person, that's human. If you are at all kind of raised specially or even moderately middle class at all, that's human variant. You're sort of born well. You got to learn something.
I'm gonna be gutter trash.
Awesome.
So true to life then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm going human variant.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So how rare is a turtle?
What?
Pretty aggressively rare.
Turtle it is.
Turtle it is. 2 humans and a turtle walk into a bar. Riley, did you have ideas? What you want to do?
I know that I want my guy to be military legacy, so he probably grew up in like an upper middle class.
Human, right? Is what you wanted?
Yes, human.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we're a bunch of characters here, aren't we?
All
Just a bunch of humans.
right, Sean, what are you really gonna be?
Turtle.
He can roll with turtle if he wants.
I don't even know if there's anything for turtle.
I don't know. I'll be I'll be an orc.
A half orc.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Because I think there is a playable orc. It's out of Volo's guide, but that would be uncommon.
I'll be
You ain't
a
got a lot of stat points to spare, bro. All right. So we got a half orc, 2 humans, and
I think 3 humans.
3 humans.
We're just
Am I the only
Run them
only gutter trash humans, or is
yeah,
there-
you're the only gutter trash human.
Wait, what? Did I get anything for extra stats for being a gutter? I forget.
I think you get +1 to all your stat points.
Yes.
Yeah, everything gets a +1.
So I should go ahead and put that in while I'm doing this then.
Yeah, you might as well just add them straight on top. Add 1 to, on top of everything you got, including that 11, which is now a 12.
Okay.
Which takes us to step 3, background, right? So we're already starting to think about, where your characters came from. Am I ghetto trash or not? So the background's in the book. Now, normal character creation processes come later, right? If you follow the PHB from cover to cover, you're going through race and then class, and the backgrounds are kind of shoved in a chapter. Even though it's it adds proficiencies, it can pay off as money. The class features or the background features are actually pretty good in a game that respects them. So as this takes place all in a city and everything's very interrelated, all of the features from all of the backgrounds actually pop and are really, really useful a lot. You'll never really have to worry about, let's take something like, for viewers and whatnot, something like Urchin, right? The feature for Urchin allows you to move through a city that you're familiar with, right? An urban space you're familiar with, at twice the speed as you would normally move through it. Now, if you're in a campaign that starts taking to the high seas and going to dungeons and mystical jungles and stuff, that'll basically never come up, right? But being locked into the city, that becomes super useful. You can get around in half the time, and the clock's always ticking. Being noble and having peerage, right? noble rank and mystique that socially affects things becomes important. Being an ex-soldier when there literally is a military that tons of people were a part of or are a part of now is useful. So you'll go through backgrounds, right? The basic backgrounds, and you'll select one that kind of fits. What did you do before becoming a constable, before becoming a guard? What was your life?
Cool.
All right. Catlin?
Yeah, I think so. My guy is going to be a big boy, and he really likes food and cooking food, eating food. He just wants everyone to be happy. He wants to be the spice of life. If you come to his house, he's feeding you. So I'm going to take the guild artisan, I think, background.
I think we should look at Jim's suggestion before we make too many decisions because it sounds pretty good to me.
Wait, I missed it.
Yeah, evil goblin bars.
Dude, it
Sounds pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty. Pretty.
Well,
You are so not playing, Jim. You don't get to derail this game.
we're gonna form a band and join the battle of the bands.
Don't worry, Jim. I got you.
He says that as though to play with it, but he wants to let Kaz play as that.
Sorry.
Let's go to Dragon Con. We'll dress up as chaotic goblin bards.
We already have somebody that derails our campaigns, and that's Jake. So
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm normal.
So
that's one word for it.
So I'll
Guild
guild artisan, cooks and bakers for the.
And the feature for guild artisan, right off the bat, puts you as having a relationship with the trade guilds in the city.
Yes.
Which will come up. There will be no background that's completely useless at all. It will come up. There will be no skill, right? Ability check that's completely useless to take. They will all be relevant. So don't worry about what you're picking for optimal purposes. They will all factor in.
Our theme song, Zazu, is El Dorado by the great Skelton John. Have you ever heard of it?
Right. Cool. And then for the traits, do you just want me to pick them? Do they need to be from this list, or can they be?
Yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna go into traits. So we lock down people's.
Sorry. I'm getting
initial
excited.
background.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going soldier.
Soldier. Now that as it means in this, it means you can either previously have been a soldier, right, or you can still kind of like a national reserve kind of thing. You can still have rank and still be just active when you need to.
I'm going previously has been a soldier.
Has moved on, which is good because faction-wise, factions in the game, the constables and the soldiers don't entirely get along.
Right.
All right.
Jake, go ahead.
Backgrounds.
Oh shit, my turn. I worked in taverns mostly as a bouncer or basically security. If anybody got rough and rowdy, I would take care of it and kick them out on the street.
That's cool. Which fifth ed background are you picking?
I don't know.
God damn it! It begins.
Tavern brawler is that? I know that's
a
like
feat.
Class of feat.
The official list starts with acolyte, right? Religious. Before you were a guard, you worked in temples and churches and faiths and stuff. Charlatan, which is a con man. Criminal, which is pretty self-explanatory.
We'll do criminal. You don't have to move on.
Used to be a proper criminal.
Yes.
Worked with ne'er-do-wells and around them.
Yes.
So the criminal's principal feature, is criminal contact, right? Given, again, that we're bottle episode into a city, it means you actually still know criminals. And they're reliable contacts for you, even though you work on the other side of the law now. But you know what? You still
I know how to twist a snitch's arm. We can get him there.
Oh, thank you for the follow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. This is here. I didn't catch it.
All right, I've got 3. I need a fourth background.
This isn't
All
my
right.
other username. Is who it was.
So I'm seeing Gladiator. Is that a legit background?
Gladiator can be a legit background. I think Gladiator the I think Gladiator's the variant.
Oh, is it a variant?
Something, yeah.
shit.
I think gladiator is a variant on entertainer, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, then I'll do that. I'll say I guess I had to fight my way up the ranks to join the.
So before essentially you became a cop,
Yep.
you used to fight for money.
Yes.
You used to lose for money.
Knuckles, bats, knives, fighting dogs. Not like having a dog that fights another dog. Like you just fighting like a shitload of dogs.
I like it.
This
Gray
is
or whatever.
This is my other username. Was the guy who followed. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. So now that everybody's got a background right now, so entertainer. The principal feature for entertainer is by popular demand.
No more.
That wasn't me.
By popular
Sorry, turning
demand,
it up.
by popular demand means that at virtually any tavern or inn or something like that, as long as you are there, perform a little bit, get known, essentially your reputation's there, as long as it's a friendly, safe place for you.
Mhm.
You eat for free, you drink for free, you stay for free.
Okay.
It's pretty handy. It'll mean that you have relationships with whenever you want one, right? Relationships with taverns, inns, and people that frequent them.
Okay.
Which is important because the best way to rest in this game for minimum time and maximum effect is to do so in a place that's built for it.
Okay. Awesome.
All right, so moving forward off of that, now when you have your background, you have a personality, ideal, bond, and flaw. Now there are some that come with the backgrounds themselves, right? They have a little chart you can randomly roll. But we do it a little bit different. So to really punch getting and using inspiration, your personality, ideal, bond, and flaw are exactly how you get inspiration. Your personality should be how a PC or NPC reacts to you. What is your character like? What is the reaction other people have to them? You would get inspiration when NPCs or player characters in appropriate situations react that way. So if you have a character that's intimidating and gruff and that's his personality, doesn't like people very much and doesn't mind that they know it, well then when NPCs react to that, you would have an opportunity to get inspiration. Your ideal is when the plot goes a certain way as we start playing. So if your ideal is, say, justice is good for everybody, right? I believe in justice itself. Then whenever the actions of the party and the actions of the game, are justicey, right? So, stopping bad guys and helping good people and things like that, you'd have an opportunity to get inspiration off of that. Your bond has to be a noun. It's a person or a place or a thing that you have a deep and personal relationship with. Whenever it comes up in the game, that's an opportunity to get inspiration. It could be family. It could be property, right? It could be a trinket or token from your childhood, but it has to be a noun. It can't be something ambiguous. Basically, it has to be something I can threaten to kill or destroy. But in doing so, you would get inspiration.
Okay.
And then your flaw has to be negative. If all else fails, you're desperate for inspiration, right? Your flaw is the one thing you can do, right? Because personality, that's how NPCs react. I kind of control some of that. Your ideal, that's how the plot's going, the scene goes. I kind of have a lot of controls there. And your bond, it may not come up very often. But your flaw, you can always play your flaw. Your flaw has to be some negative or destructive thing about you. If you have alcoholism, would be a flaw.
I don't agree with that.
But if you were to say want inspiration before you go into a fight, you may down a bottle of something you have on you, which runs the risk of you getting the poison condition at some point in the fight as the alcohol starts hitting. But that's reckless and it's destructive, but you get inspiration for that. If you're greedy, right, stealing things, that's pretty negative, right? That's risky. It could be a problem. So you pick a flaw, you pick something that's genuinely something you don't want to have to play, but you could play it and get inspiration on. So, roll that around. What's your characters like? So we'll start kind of at the top while people start to ideate about this. So, Cat, personality. What is your character's personality?
Okay. Let me see. Personality.
How do people see them?
So he's a very jolly, friendly guy. I believe that food is meant to make you smile. It's my passion in my life. and so I am always smiling. I always
Jolly, friendly genie.
try to like befriend people, even if it might not be the best idea. I always try to do the handshake first. But if things get serious, I can hold my own. But I'm a friendly dude. I would almost say naively friendly.
Naively friendly, genial. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Riley, what's your character's personality? How do most of the time? Obviously, you don't have to be your personality all the time. But.
Right. I would say that my guy is probably around the opposite of Catlin's guy. He's not a mean guy by any means, but he's slow to make new friends. Doesn't really trust a lot of people. He's seen a lot in his prior military when he was fighting in wars, lost a lot of people, and is hesitant to get close to other people again.
So basically, Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino.
That's exactly. yeah, exactly right.
Okay, Sean, what is your character's personality?
Oh, I like it. I always skipped.
Hey, thanks for the follow, my boy. Appreciate it.
We're already trying to control you.
Guys, you need to thank my boy for following.
Don't let him talk anymore. He's had too much.
Jake, I'll let you go before me.
No, fuck you, Sean. Go ahead. Go.
I think with coming up, fighting through the ranks and stuff like that in front of everybody, I probably jumped into the guard just based on the fact that I relied a lot on intimidation. I don't see it as
I'm about to get Jin position.
Oh, that's right. I think that not in a mean way, just a fact of like I use that as a crutch in social situations.
So how are people likely to react to your character, NPCs and the like?
I think I don't think they would. I would be super inviting at first. So I think I would not have tons of personality. It would be more based on intimidation.
Dry and a little scary.
Yeah.
That works. All right, Jake, what you got?
So I grew up poor, but at the same time, I always wanted to be kind of in a position of power. Whether it was in the schoolyard, bullying some kids, getting around. So I had my gang following me to moving up kind of in the seedy underground and working in bars to where I had power over guests in bars and who could come and who couldn't drink. I'm a very friendly guy. I like to make friends. I like to joke, have a great time. But at the end of the day, I like people to know that I'm in charge and a leader. And I think the way the NPCs view me is a guy they've heard a lot of rumors about on what he does and doesn't do to people he doesn't like in the alley behind the tavern. But at the same time, very easy to get along with. You just come up, buy me a drink. We can talk about fast carts and loose women all night long.
Fast carts.
But yeah, I'm very friendly, very funny. But also, there's some rumors in the background about what I've done to people that have decided to cross my path.
Gotcha. So ideal is best expressed, honestly, easiest way to get to it. Could be, you can draw from sort of the Catholic 7 cardinal virtues or things like that if you have to. It's best done as a word or two at max. It's something they just believe in. Honesty, truth, justice, prudence, temperance, if you want to go to that, charity. Being nice to people, that certainly could be one. So what are your character's ideals, starting with Kat?
My
what
ideal...
is the one thing that, if this were a movie, right, that scene happens the way it happens, that inspires my character.
Empathy.
Empathy.
Yeah. Look out for the little guy. I don't care who you are.
It's pretty good.
If you're hungry.
What you got, Riley? Riley, what is your character's ideal?
Duty.
Oh, that's good. That fits with Soldier pretty well.
Yeah.
All right, Jake, you got an ideal?
Yeah, a friendship or loyalty. You just there's certain people you can trust, and those are your people, and you'll do anything to make sure that they're safe and protected, and they do the same for you.
Loyalty, friendship's good. Sean, ideal.
I had helping the helpless, so I guess that actually kind of falls more towards Kat's thing with empathy and stuff like that, though.
No, you're more of a Robin Hood.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Is that what you're thinking? Like,
yeah, I'm just.
Well, I guess
thinking,
not Rob from The Rich, but
I just like the idea of this dude having to fight his way up to make money, and then realizing that there's people out there that need like a big asshole to stand up for them, basically.
That's not bad. That's pretty good. I mean, we can kind of distill that down a little bit and just leave it there, sticking up for the little guy.
yeah.
It's a little wordy, but it makes everyone knows what that is. All right, so Bond. Here's the noun. It's the two ways to think about Bond. It's got to be a thing, right, or person. It has to be a noun. And not that I would do this to you, but it has to be something I could kill or destroy and send your character into that moment climactically 2/3 of the way through the movie where they drop to their knees in the rain screaming to the heavens no.
Okay. All right, so my Bond is, in my mind, I am the last bastion of hope in a bland world, and I'm determined to bring flavor. So therefore, my most cherished possession is the
Welcome to Flavor Town.
is the cast iron skillet.
Is his deed to fucking Flavor Town. His grandfather left it to him.
Frosted tips and all.
I may or may not have been building to a Flavor Town joke in like session
Sorry.
3.
Cream beans.
But no. So
my
it's
most
a
treasured
cast
possession
iron-
is a cast iron pot that has been in my family for 3 generations and has the most perfect seasoning that can only be achieved over decades of use.
You know, that works out pretty well. That's an heirloom of some significance. Yeah. Okay. What you got, Riley? What is your Bond? What keeps you as part of the world?
This kind of goes back to the duty thing too, but just my character's never done anything else other than being a soldier. What is it, Catlin?
Sorry, I'm laughing at chat. Go ahead.
So that has been his entire life. Him leaving the army was not by his choice. So he's pretty bitter about that. The shield that he uses was passed down to him through his family through countless generations. So he treasures it greatly.
That works. I like that. Okay, Jake, what do you got as a Bond?
Just the disenfranchised, the low people, the people who've never been given a chance, or don't have a chance, or no option to get a chance. If those people are being mistreated or abused, it just sets me off because there's no reason to treat them that way.
Seth45, thanks for the follow.
Wretches.
You just gotta slap in and protect him and help him up, help a man on his feet if he needs it.
The thing is I like that as a Bond a lot. So it shows you a range of what we can work with and how this ends up being sort of risk and reward, right? Shield, very specific. It can come up. It's a very specific single object. The wretches of the city is big and broad. However, God, I can threaten that all day.
Yeah.
You can be going to take a piss and I can threaten that. In the corner of your eye.
That's fine. I'll fucking fight for it.
I'll punch you right in the mouth.
I'm risking kidney stones, but fuck it. I'm gonna deal with that first.
Yeah, if I see, and I feel that way in the constable force I'm in now. If I see another officer of the law, just picking on some guy because he's not got a place to sleep for the night, I'll step in.
Make him say it. All right, Sean, what do you got? What is your Bond?
Is it too obscure to have like my freedom as a Bond somebody?
That is not a noun. Well, I guess in a sense it's a noun, but it's not a person, place, or thing.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. We'll do.
Jim, I think we'll get along.
The best Bond is the permanent, Liamon's tiny hut that was cast for me by my grandfather that I always have. It's always 10 feet away from me. I can use it whenever I want.
How about my little brother? Who I've been looking out for.
Excellent. You've got a brother, and you've given me an NPC to threaten with murder. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to murder him. Maybe, probably. I'll put it this way: if I decide to threaten your character's younger brother with murder, I will put it to the chat for a vote.
Awesome.
It'll be like when Jason Todd was Robin back in like the late '80s, early '90s, and DC was like, "Do we kill him or not?"
Well, goodbye.
Yeah.
Brother.
All right. So flaw, properly negative, something that you know what it would be a risk to you or a risk to the party to participate in. What you got, Kat? What's a flaw?
So I was thinking about this. So when I'm cooking, and this is not only when I'm cooking, but I have a tendency to taste all my recipes multiple times, and sometimes I end up eating the whole thing before it's even done. And this is translated into other areas of my life where I tend to take too much of anything offered, which tends to be a problem. Like if my buddy's like, hey, you're having a tough time, why don't you sleep on my couch for a night? I stay there for a month. Or if someone offers me, maybe there's like some rolls that we're passing around the table, I'll take the whole thing. If a king offers help, I will take so much help that it offends him sometimes.
I think officially, I think in the proper parlance, not just the food parlance of it, right? I think the proper
it's
term
everything.
for that. If you go to like Dante's Inferno, the proper parlance of that is truly gluttonous.
Yeah, gluttony.
It is an inability on many levels to simply stop yourself when there's enough.
Yes.
Anything. All right, Riley, what do you got? What's your flaw? What's your tragic thing?
My dismissal from the army, like I said before, was not exactly by choice. It was an action that was forced upon me because of something that I allowed to happen, and I do not want anybody else to know what happened. My inability to deal with the actions that I caused, I would do just about anything to keep anybody else from knowing what it is.
It's good, but you got to give me a personality trait. What is the flaw? What it is that your character is like that would be a risk to yourself or someone else?
Overzealous. I would probably let somebody get hurt or make the wrong moral choice in order to protect my secret. That makes sense.
Your character could be reckless.
Yes,
reckless. Reckless is good. This means that in a scene, if you really want an inspiration, you're welcome to throw caution to the wind, risk your life and other people's lives, but I'll give you inspiration for it.
Well, that's what matters.
All right, moving on. Jake, what do you got? What's your flaw?
A hair trigger. Basically,
that's good.
yeah. Basically, it takes. I'm a very friendly guy. I'm very approachable. I like to drink and have fun and talk with everybody. But it takes very little to set me off or to make me just want to. And maybe it's just part of me. I just like to fight people. But occasionally, someone can just say just like the slightest thing, and I'm like, I want to break their fucking jaw.
You're Joe Pesci in Goodfellas.
Yeah, exactly, exactly like that. It's just like, all right, let's go to the alley. Let's do this. And it could be over like nothing. It could be over like a bad tip.
All right, John, tragic flaw.
To deal with all the fighting in my past and people that I've killed in the ring. I've gone to the drink and don't know my limits.
That's good. Put that down, definitely. Substance abuse, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. He's over there taking slugs of booze, just gets him through the day now.
That's right.
I like how his fault is substance abuse while I'm pulling 2 beers out of my fridge.
Yeah. I was going to say, so Jake in real life.
I don't know what you guys are talking about, okay?
A drunk half-orc.
All right.
Definitely Jake.
All right, we've got a great sense of what the characters are like. Then we go to the potentially easiest step, which is picking a class. So you may already know your class, but I want you to also keep in mind, given where we're going to be on step 6 of making characters, and you can start the game at higher than level 1 this way. You may also want to kind of think about what archetype or subclass you may want to be migrating into, because that could happen. Mm-hmm. And you're going to think about what class you want to pick through the lens of, why are you a constable? What does this bring to the table? And in truth, any class can fit. Some seem like they'll fit more than others. But any class can fit. It just gets weird with some of them. So, all right. So, and this is probably the easiest part. This is the part that people spend the most time thinking about when making D&D characters is, what classes am I going to play? So I know people have already put some thought into this. So we'll kind of start around the table.
That's what you think.
Okay. Well,
Kat, where do you want to go for class? Where is your? Let me see if I've got the high points of this right. Where is your genial, empathetic, super friendly, but at the same time, somewhat avaricious or gluttonous, good-natured fella, human. What does he do? What is his skill set?
So when I figured I wanted to join the guard was when someone was robbing one of the guild's bakeries, and I took a ladle to his head, and just in a fit of like, this is unacceptable. You do not steal food. Just beat him into a pulp, and that kind of set me on this path of, well, I don't like violence, but I'm pretty good at it when it needs to happen. So I'm going to be a fighter, because pretty good at beating people with things.
All right, Riley, what you got?
I was going fighter, but I'm also a fighter.
Yeah.
That's what I had prepared. Yeah, so like I said, my guy's always been in the army. His father was in the army, his grandfather was in the army, so on and so forth. So fighting is pretty much the only thing that he knows. All right,
let's see here, Jake, what you got?
Oh, sorry, I was vaping, so I haven't mic muted. Why are you what you are? And what do you? And you?
What's your class?
How do you do with your relationships? So what class rolls into the tavern brawler feat?
It's just a feat. In truth, any class could be a tavern brawler.
So we're gonna be a barbarian, straight up class wise. But the reason I am the way I am is, so I was a bouncer, basically kept ordering some taverns and stuff like that. I saw a couple things like fights would happen, stuff would happen at the bars, and the constables would come in. I didn't like the way they handled things. They were maybe either a little too harsh on people, stuff like that. And I thought if I joined the force, then I could help, basically my friends out. Sure. Or people like that. We're just like, having a rough night, not necessarily doing anything wrong. I just, I'm on the force, but I don't necessarily agree with their tactics in all ways. And I thought if I joined, I could help.
Sure.
And maybe take a different approach to certain situations. Like, instead of taking you to jail and ruining your fucking life, let's just fight in the street. Let's get this done man to let's just done man to man, and whoever comes out on top, that's who walks away from it.
All right. So we've got 2 fighters for now. Unless somebody ends up deciding not to go with one of them. And a barbarian. All right, Sean, what do you want to do?
I was thinking a ranger, and I'm going to say I went this route because my character's grown up through the fighting and everything like that. I feel like it was his chance to become a constable and kind of step back and be away from the hand-to-hand combat and put a lot of space between me and the actual fighting.
Gotcha. All right.
So
2 fighters, a barbarian, and a ranger. Survive in the crazy city.
I will change if necessary.
Tip cleric is garbage tier. Need a 4th gun. That's why if only you'd heard the conversation before we started this, and I was like, damn it, I'm gonna have to play caster. And they're like, no, don't do it. Don't do it.
So I will be a. I can switch to cleric.
Oh, Gatlin.
What?
Don't cave to the pressure.
Do you guys?
There is literally no wrong answer here at all. This is what you do. We already have your background. Right?
Yeah.
So
well, I've got
this is what you do.
So are we limited to the gods in it, or maybe if I was like the god of umami?
Greygast is a cosmopolitan city made up of faiths that abandon other nations and lands. There is a whole administrative, bureaucracy that tries to govern the licensing of all the new faiths and cults that pop up weekly.
I'm saying that Jim has the best advice. Cleric is a garbage class, and there's no reason to play it. We need a 4th fighter.
So
get that pan out and do some motherfucking work.
So what if we did? What if I did like a cleric of umami, the god of food, and like its spiritual weapon is like a frying pan.
I would say cleric would work,
and it'd be healing domain. Probably.
I would say there are many sort of domesticated, home and hearth-esque sorts of gods that we can rope in.
Jim's right. You shouldn't do it.
Okay, I'm going fighter. Let's go fighter. Let's do it.
Just Jim.
There
I
you
trust
go.
him.
He
I'm
seems
going
like he
fighter.
knows how to play.
Don't trust Jim. Again, Jim doesn't do math. I've personally presided over Jim's characters
Jim.
losing limbs and shit. And
I like Jim. Okay.
Jim's characters rarely straight up die. They sort of die and then refuse to be resurrected because it's pointless because it's shit now. Like,
I've never had a character die, and I feel like I play just like Jim.
Okay.
That's not true.
Chat
I've had
is
my
all
own,
saying go fighter, go fighter. Let's do it. Fighter is what I wanted to do in the first place. We're going fighter.
Yeah, like
Yes.
we talked
Two
about it.
fighters.
First happened, we discussed it, and then we decided
and a
what we're
ranger.
gonna do.
That's right.
know who you are. That's all I can say, man.
Yeah.
Just
Two fighting boys.
live your
That's right.
live your truth. And if your
Okay.
truth is whomping on people, then that's where you got to
That's
be.
my truth. We're gonna die in session 1.
Yes, we are.
Yes, Jim. It's very likely because they don't know you.
Yeah, Jim, I feel like
I'm not
we're
saying
best
they'll
friends,
do
and I've known
anything
you my
you
whole
say.
life.
I'm not saying they'll do
I've known
anything
you
you
my
say. I'm saying that they will probably be more likely to do what you say than me.
Maybe saying you a different voice, like.
All right. Okay. So,
Sorry.
All right, step 5.
yes.
Step 5 is we end up going ahead and taking your background. Some backgrounds offer a little bit of money, right? So depending what background you take, there may be something about, like Alkalite, for instance, there's a certain number of silver that you get just because. Depending on your class, obviously you get starting money for class, which involves a dice roll. We're going to convert all of that to the currency of the game. Now, for simplicity's sake, everything in the game is normalized to basically one currency. Right, so D&D conventionally has 4 or 5, depending if you're playing in Forgotten Realms, which why would anyone do that? Not to hate on Forgotten Realms, anybody that loves Forgotten Realms, I just can't bite that high fantasy pizza, you know. But yeah, platinum pieces and gold pieces and silver and electrum and copper and everything costs different amounts. For our setting, everything is normalized to a standard silver piece, which actually, analogously speaking, works about like $1 does. So you can kind of imagine not knowing anything about anything. You know, my 2 examples usually end up being, how much does a farm tool, right, hand tool cost at Lowe's? Like $20-$30. A sickle costs literally 30 silver, right? Pretty much a really nice room for a night, like 120, right? So it makes it easy for you to transact a business, not having to operate across multiple currencies. There are other denominations of currency like gold and stuff that roll up and roll down, but 90% of the game operates with just silver sovereigns, the standard currency of the city. So in order to get there, we take whatever silver you have from your background, because some backgrounds offer it. I don't think anyone's background offers this now except Guild Artisan. I think Guild Artisan has a little bit of a certain amount of coinage you get.
Mm-hmm.
And then based on class, you'll end up rolling, right? Rolling off for how much money. So fighters, because of all of our fighters get 5d4 times 10 gold. So our two fighters should roll 5d4.
Okay.
Okay.
5d4 plus what?
5d4 times 10. That's
Times
all
10.
it comes out to.
I've got to
So,
find the asterisk.
so that gives us Cat's at 150, and Riley's at 110.
Yep.
Now
Wait, was
that was just for fighters.
Oh.
For barbarians, you get 2d4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's even.
Oh.
Rangers also get 5d4 times 10. So roll that off, those 5d4. So anyhow, 150 and 110 for our fighters. But that's in gold pieces. So we need to convert that to basic D&D silver. So it's just times 10. That gives you 1,500 and 1,100. And I'd pin that down. Just kind of jot that down, 1,500 and 1,100.
And 600 for me, I think.
It'll be 600 for 600 for our barbarian.
I've only had 2 keystones so far. I can do math.
And then Sean rolling off on 5d4 times 10. Because how we set up this particular setting is that your class and your background actually change as a multiplier to how much money you get. So this is just the base, right? So Sean's got 1,300, right, after bringing it all to silver. And then we consult backgrounds and classes. So let's take our fighters, for example. Right? So we've got a Guild Artisan fighter which is, in essence, that's times 30. So you take 1,500 and times 30. Which is what, 45, or excuse me, times 3, excuse me. So it'd be 4,500. So you're starting with 4,500. Most of that's because you're a guild artisan, because fighters don't get a lot off of that. Fighter and I believe it was soldier is times 4. Right, so you're at 4,400. And these are basic silver pieces, 4,500, 4,400. Barbarian, and we went with Barbarian Urchin. No, what did you go with? Criminal, I think?
Yes, criminal.
Barbarian criminal. So that's times 2. You have 1,200.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not quite as lucrative as being, in an official organization with a pension. Our ranger entertainer is times 3, puts you at 3,900. Now these are the basic currency of the game, silver. Okay. That's how much silver. Okay. And so, in our drive where we have our little gear section and things like this, where we have a document, there is and also it's a handout here in Roll20. You can open up gear and equipment, and you can see the prices for basically everything. And all of it's in basic silver. We're not going to go through gearing up now. Just know that you've got a total, and know that you've got a little workbook that shows you what everything costs, and we'll end up gearing up before our first proper session. The only thing I'll note is the prices that are in here are a little bit normalized for demand. Some things are in slightly higher demand in this city than others. Also, weapons-wise, there are rudimentary firearms in here, and they are extraordinarily expensive. I think more or less outside the price range that y'all are initially starting with. So that'll be something for you to look at later. But it appears to be the case that currently the two money bags happen to be the fighters who have a background in professional organizations that pay them a decent pension for it.
Yeah. Goddamn right.
As opposed to the barbarian entertainer basically fighting for his alcoholism, who's doing well not to be broke.
That's a... I'm
Jake's feeling the truth right now.
Reality just set in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, which takes us to the last part of character creation. Sort of the most important part, one of the most important parts. So there's a mini game to getting backstory created. Right? We have 4 individual characters. We know what they're like. We know what they do. We know what they came from. We know what their flaws are and what they hope for and what they wish they were like. And we also know how, essentially, by giving me a personality, you inform the DM of how you expect when you play your character. They're just in a scene, not saying anything. I now know how I should have my NPCs respond to you, right? Without you having to do anything. This is what your character's like most of the time.
Hey, thanks for the big donation there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Wait, did we get donation?
Spate donated.
Oh!
Thanks, buddy.
Spate
Right,
wanted
cool.
to see me chug a beer. Let me put this in the glass.
Did anyone say that they wanted to chug a beer, or is that just where he went with it?
No,
He's like,
Spencer said
that's
chug,
where
chug,
he
chug,
always
chug.
there's money on the table. I'm gonna get fucked up. I'm gonna get fucked up over here. That's what I'm gonna do.
All right.
I will know him pretty quick.
All right. So the backstory game, it adds XP to your character, right? So now that we know a lot about them, this is what gets all the party members having a common history together to some extent. And so there are really 3 rounds of this. Round number 1 is who are you? You get a 2-minute introduction to your character. You get only 2 minutes. This is timed.
Oh God.
If you go over 2 minutes, it's a penalty.
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta be on your game here. But if you go under 90 seconds, it's also a penalty. So you're looking for that Oscar award-winning speech, sweet spot of what's your character concept, what's their name, what do they like, what do people know about them. Just bring all the elements you've come up with together in a 90-second how do you do. And we're going to go ahead and start. We're going to start with Kat.
All right. So we will start the time
now.
Now, okay. So my name is Mo Tasty Boy, and as I've said, I have a huge love for food and people and togetherness, and my goal in life, I just really want to bring happiness to people's lives and food to the table. Let me see. I am from a upper middle class family. We are widely regarded as some of the best cooks in the town. Actually, my family were a little disappointed that I left the craft to go serve in the town guard. But I always carried my passion for food and cooking with me. In the guard, they usually send me along on crowds because I am obviously one of the biggest and most imposing figures, despite my good-natured attitude. Typically, they tell me just to shut up when they're talking to people, so that I am just an imposing figure, as opposed to a jolly, happy soul. A lot of times, my helmet has a face mask to hide my big, goofy smile, because sometimes I think it's funny when they interrogate the people and act tough when I've seen them eat 42 of my dumplings. But, yeah, that is my background.
You got 5 seconds.
And my favorite food is ramen. I love ramen. I make ramen, like, all the time. And
okay, wow, this OkCupid profile has
that's the best
like
I got.
watching Netflix. I couldn't live without my phone.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Number 2. Nope, moving straight on. We're going to go to Riley. You've got at least 90 seconds, but give me 2 minutes.
All right. Here we go. So my character's name is Dunkirk Wallbreaker. He is a career soldier. His dad was a soldier. His dad was a soldier, and so on and so forth. He grew up in that upper kind of soldier middle class family. So the whole respected. They did well for themselves. They were respected across. Kind of thing. He served in the army for a long time. He was an officer, and during a battle, he made a bad choice and got a lot of his men under him killed. After that happened, they kind of forced him into paperwork, like a desk role, and he was not having it, so he left the army and decided that he was going to find his role elsewhere within the city. The only other profession that made sense was the city watch. The only skills he has are cracking heads and righting wrongs. So other than that, he like I said before, he has a hard time trusting people, has a hard time making friends. He's still not particularly happy about his situation. He never wanted this. He wanted to retire from the military, from the army, and go down as a legend. So,
all right, moving on. Okay, let's go next.
All right, this is for you, Spade. Thanks for the donation.
Also, before you start, no, Jim, do not use this game as an example of what I will allow you to ever play. I'm giving Kat some fucking rope on no Tasty Boy, whom I will never say Tasty Boy. I'll call him Mo. People will call him Constable Mo.
It's pronounced.
Even though everybody knows his last name, I won't. I'll be the only one in the universe that doesn't.
It's pronounced.
Fuck you if I.
It's pronounced Tasty Boy. Tasty Boy.
We're not opening the door to weird names and shit. I'm not putting up with that.
It was a last minute decision. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine, Kat. You're okay. You're okay. He's.
What's bad is he hasn't gotten to me yet.
Okay.
All right. You got 2 minutes. Go.
All right. My name is Tig. First name Tig. Last name Biddies. Tig Biddies.
Oh God.
No.
Jesus Christ.
I grew up on the street, poor, basically an adoption household. I don't know who my real parents are. The minister who worked at the adoption place was rough on the kids, punished them for needless things. Just boy stuff. We got punished. And once I got big enough to show that I didn't really feel like being fucking punished anymore, I gave them what for. From there, I built a reputation on the streets. I had friends from the home that I grew up in, the foster home, or the whatever you want to call it. And they kind of followed me, a little bit of a gang going on, and worked my way up on the streets making money, doing what I needed to do. Got a name for myself. Some of the local taverns hired me to just do security, that kind of stuff for them. Am I on what do they want now? What do I want? I just want everybody to be treated fairly. I want everybody to get a fair shake. I don't want, just because you were born differently or born poorly, or born highly, like that you get treated differently. I'm a nice guy. I'm really easy to get along with. But if I see you being a shitty person, I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna break your fucking jaw, and that's what I'm gonna do. And what I do now, I joined the constable force to just. I saw some corruption within it, and I didn't like what I saw. So I thought if I got in there, I could maybe change the way it was. Maybe a little idealistic of me, but I think it's doable, and I think I can make a difference in the community that I grew up in.
All right. You're in under the wire with that. All right, Sean, go.
All right. My name is Putty Wubknuckles. I am an orc that was born into nothing. I fought my way up through the ranks in the gallery where everybody was watching and putting money on it. I made it to the top and kind of became a little bit of a folk hero amongst the little guys who needed someone to look out for them, and became someone that they could come to for protection. So I thought I would use that to spring my way into the constable area. Use sort of that power and that notoriety for good, and I also saw it as a way to kind of get out of the hand-to-hand fighting, unless it really came down to it. I then my family ended up creating a little brother of mine. So creating my parents fucked.
We need to have a talk with you. Yeah.
My parents were warlocks. I don't want to explain to you how we got a little brother out of this, but it was horrific. It was terrifying.
So I wanted to give my little brother a role model to grow up looking up to, and what else? I feel like I'm a, even though I'm intimidating and am not afraid to be forceful like I have in the past. I'm a warm, caring person for the people that are in my, what I call my family, my friends or my family.
Okay. That's it. You're done.
Cool.
Good. All right. So everyone's heard what people's characters are, what they're like, what they do, what they have done. Then we move into the very next part.
Okay.
I will bring up for everybody's edification here in this little roll 20 in the interface. And
Riley, what was your name again?
Dunkirk Wallbreaker.
Dunkirk.
Basically the most legit name yet made for the game.
Yeah, I didn't know everybody else was being idiots.
I didn't know I was being an idiot.
No. You've become the favorite now. It's okay. All right.
What did you expect me to just come up with something on the top of my head? I was going to be Take Biddies. It was going to be
actually, you're not going to believe this. I will take a photo of it. It's right here. There's an NPC that you meet very early in this game his first name is also Tig, but not Biddies. So you just
mine is two G's as to not be crude.
You're both guys essentially in the real world. You're both guys named like Ashley, and you're the only Ashleys each other know.
Yeah.
Okay, so part 2 of the backstory game, now that we have that all in place from everybody, which everybody earned a little XP on, is making the actual connections for it. Okay, so we'll start with a particular player, right, and we'll move around as we go. The idea here is that you're going to establish a previous relationship with somebody else's character, right? You'll pick one other character, and you'll define what that relationship is like. You just got to give the rough details of it.